Wow, this lens, man. This is a beast of a lens. 16-35 Canon zoom EF lens, 16-35. Now, one thing that I learned about the 16-35 is that more or less it's an all-round lens. You know, you can shoot it for music videos, landscape shots, corporate, commercial, promotional videos. More or less, this is probably my go-to lens for all my shoots. Yeah, I just want to do a review of it. So I'm going to be discussing all the features and all the specs, the positives and the negatives, you know. So because no piece of equipment is perfect, there's always going to be something. So even though I'm a big fan of this lens, I'm going to be giving my objective viewpoint on it. So here we go. First thing that I want to talk about is obviously the 16mm, which is the widest it can go, and 35, which is the closest it goes as well. So for 16mm, you can get a lot of different cool compositions, cool shots. I mainly use 16mm when I'm shooting landscapes, or if I do use it for music videos now and again if I want to get a sort of like a cool distorted look of the person in the shot. So it all depends on the creative aspect of what I'm shooting. So that's when I use 16. Now going up now, I don't really use 20 that much, so I normally skip over to 24 or 28. Now 24 to 28 is a good kind of like a standard focal length for me when I'm shooting most things. Doesn't get too distorted, and it still kind of keeps the still keeps a sort of a natural element to the picture as well when it's at 24 to 28. And then when I bring up to 35 now, that's when I definitely shoot, if not all my portraits at 35. Unless I'm using a prime lens, then I'd use a 50 or an 85. But if I got this lens and I feel like I want to shoot a portrait with it, then definitely I'd be shooting at 35mm. Yeah. So as you can see from there, what I demonstrated, and you'll see examples going on whilst I'm talking as well, you'll see that it offers a very wide range in this 16-35 lens here. So it's good in that sense. And the next thing I want to talk about is the focus. Yeah, everyone's got to be focused. I'm always focused on job. But yeah, the focus here, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's more or less almost perfect on autofocus. And now same in manual focus, it's good as well. So if I want to get that really fine attention to detail, then I will switch it to manual focus as well. So it's really good for that. And as you can see here, it's very gentle focus. It's easy to maneuver, easy to handle, you see. Yep. The other thing I want to talk about is the ability to shoot in low light. This lens has an aperture of 2.8. Now for a zoom lens, I've got to say, in my opinion, this is quality. And I don't mean 2.8 just at 16 or 24. No, I mean 2.8 from 16 all the way to 35. So at 35, you'd get 2.8. At any focal length on this lens, you would get an aperture of 2.8. Basically an all-round lens. We've done a lot of shoots at night. You know, you might be struggling with the lighting situation, or maybe you just don't want to use that much artificial light, so you can really bring down your aperture to suit the type of video that you want to shoot. And also get your bokeh when it's at 2.8. You can get nice blurry background, natural depth of field shots with that as well. So that's another thing that I've got to say, is that I'm really impressed with this lens. To wrap up, I'm just going to list a few points of what I think about this lens, good and bad points. So, well, the good points is that it definitely has a great capability of shooting in low light with the 2.8 aperture. It's also got a flexible focal range as well, because you can get a lot of good shots using 35mm for portraits and other things like that. And then you can also use 16 for the landscapes. So it works well in that sense. But I would say I'm trying to find faults with this lens, but there's not that many. So the one thing I did think of is that at 16mm, you do get some distortion of the picture, and it kind of, then again, some people might like the distortion, but in some cases it doesn't work on 16 because it kind of ends up being like a fisheye. You kind of get a fisheye lens effect when it's at 16. But sometimes, once again, for some shoots it works and other shoots it doesn't. But on zoom lens as a whole, you know, there's always going to be some level of distortion, so it's kind of to be expected with the lens, with the zoom lenses in general. So yeah, it's for this lens, and there's not many except maybe 2. So one thing is the price. Now it's a little bit pricey, so if you're on a budget, maybe this wouldn't be for you, or you can rent it using Fat Llama. Check the link in the description, you know. So yeah, check that one out. Now you might be asking, do I need this lens? Do I not? So I'm gonna kind of tell you if you need to buy this lens. I'm a landscape photographer. If you're shooting music videos, this is kind of the all-round lens for you. The only thing I'd say, it's kind of it's a great lens to have whatever level of, or whatever type of video making you do. This is a great lens to have. The only thing that I'd say is that check your budget before you buy this lens, because it's quite pricey. I'll leave a link in the description for it where you can check it out. So there you go. But if your budget isn't there yet, check Fat Llama. Yeah, check Fat Llama and go through my link, and you get £10 off your first rental. Yeah, so that's another way if you want to test out this lens, or you got a shoot but you haven't got the budget for it. You can rent it out. So there's always an option to use the equipment you want to use.